Wow. This is really emotional. I haven't had my picture taken this many times since my son's bar mitzvah. I like my dress better, though, now. Thank you, Joanna. I miss all of our crazy days at Mary Claire, where running in heels was our normal speed. And we were really good at it. I'm not as good at it anymore, but we were. That video, wow. I guess I did an okay job at being a mom. Matthew, Berger, the Berger boys. Matthew is here in real life. Jacob is at College Park right now, finishing up his finals so he can hopefully graduate in the next 2 weeks. Go Terps. The Mother's Day Committee. So first I have to thank Thea and Lori for making me a part of this. I've been on this committee for 15 years. Thea recruited me. Lori took over with amazing leadership and passion, and we've raised a lot of money over the course of these years for such a good cause. Joanna mentioned there were a lot of Nancys. There are 5 Nancys on this committee, which is statistically improbable, since there are really not a lot of Nancys out there, and no new ones are being born. There's a little-known fact about this committee. The first year that we, honored women, we honored a mom who literally got up and said out loud that she had been a terrible mother. And after that, we really improved our vetting process. So anyway, you'll know that today because we have all these amazing honorees who we really do know are great moms, Priya and Phyllis and Biana and Marissa. And I just want to say one thing about Marissa because we've known each other a really long time, going back to her Estee Lauder days when she had the foresight to launch Executive Moms. And it was, we both had little kids, there was no place to get support, there was no network, and she really made it happen. And it was your destiny to be here and get this award. Today is my mom's 85th birthday, Cinco de Mayo, and she's in Florida with my dad. She attended this luncheon one year, literally looked around the room and could not believe how many high-powered women there were in this world. Like, she was like, I know that you're successful, but what's going on here? It was very intimidating to her. And, it really made me realize that there are strength in numbers, and everyone in this room has learned how to support one another, and I feel it every day and feel very, very lucky. So I wanted to share what motherhood has meant to me and end with my single best parenting tip that is guaranteed to work. There's a funny TikTok out there about being a parent. I don't know if anybody has seen it. It's where parents lip sync a comedy routine, and it goes like this. Have you made people yet? Oh yeah, you wait. I've made my own people, and I'm their leader. And it's kind of a frightening thought. My boys are my people. They are my heart. I have tissues here. Thank you, Lori Singer. They are my heart, my soul. I feel lucky and honored to be their mom. I am so proud of the adults they have become. They are kind, loving, loyal, family-oriented, hardworking, good people, and they have my unconditional love. For those that know me, the thing that makes me happiest in life is time spent with my family and my extended family, particularly around holidays when I get to cook huge, I'm not kidding, huge, quantities of food, open cases and cases of wine, set a gorgeous table, and have everyone together. I live for those moments, and that really is the truth. I had a lot of Jewish guilt about raising my boys as a divorced executive mom who worked crazy hours and traveled a lot. But I've always loved what I do professionally, and they knew that me as a happy mom meant me as a better mom. And it was equally important for me to be very present in their lives, and while I did miss many things, including weekday dinners together with them, we never really had that, I made a promise to each of them that I would never miss anything that they told me was important. So Matt, when you talked about that story with the basketball game, that really meant a lot. In fact, when I've asked my kids if they remember me missing things, they really don't. But what they don't know is the stress from the times I almost didn't make it. Like when I was in Miami on a business trip and got the date wrong for Matthew's first band concert. I realized that at 10 in the morning, and I had to be back in Westchester at 7 p.m. After moving around my meetings, departing from a different airport, which required rebooking flights, and then the new flight that I almost missed was then canceled, so I had to be rebooked again, but that flight left from a different terminal, so I ran through the airport with my luggage and my heels. I got on the plane. I was the last seat, the very last row next to the bathroom. But I got to the auditorium on time. I sat in my seat, trying to catch my breath as the kids entered the stage. Matt waved at me, I smiled and I waved back, and then the concert began. And this is what it sounded like. And I literally burst out laughing, like out loud. And it was true. You were a good saxophone player, but it was true. I got a lot of angry looks from other parents. I was literally the worst mom and the best mom all at the same time, and sometimes that's just how it goes. I had a very transient upbringing due to my dad's job at NBC News. I was born in Youngstown, Ohio. I graduated high school in London, and I moved every 3 to 4 years my whole life. It was really hard to make new friends and start over again and again with each move, and I vowed I would never do that with my kids. They were going to have roots. And so I moved out of the city when I was pregnant with Matthew to a community in Westchester. It was filled with young families, and we all had our babies at the same time, and all those kids and parents have become my lifelong friends, and they're all, most of them, many of them are at that table right there. And I was one of the few working moms, so I would not have survived without this amazing group of women. Sometimes, often, my best friend Jody Miller was always reminding me about something that I didn't know, like school picture day, oh, okay, or early school closing, good to know, bake sales. Moms were always transporting my kids to play dates, to after-school activities, to birthday parties on a regular basis. I would get a text with a picture of Jacob at a birthday party with his face planted into a slice of pizza. And I missed it. But I also knew that I couldn't have done it without my village and with all these people. And that village for us, we call Boulder Ridge. And I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. As I said, I had a lot of guilt about raising my boys in some non-traditional ways. When my son Jacob came up with a life philosophy, which he shared many years ago to my best friend Norman, Uncle Norman. And what he said is, if you're thrown a curveball, all you have to do is adjust to the pitch. You've got this. And that motto has served our family well, because we have been thrown a few curveballs. Like when Jacob was 10, he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And we were taking a vacation, and he was peeing, and he was moody, and he just wasn't right. And we came home and saw the pediatrician, and the next thing I know, we were in the hospital for a week, me and Jacob together, learning how to count carbs and calculate insulin doses, pricking his finger multiple times a day to test his blood sugar, and really dealing with a new way of life. And for 2 years, I woke up at 2 in the morning every day to test his blood sugar quietly, and sometimes had to wake him up and give him a glass of apple juice so that his numbers would go up. And business trips then were harder, as I constantly worried about Jacob's numbers. And all I wanted was for him to be able to do anything and everything he wanted to do. And he did, including being a star linebacker on the Scarsdale varsity football team. So as a family, we've made a big commitment to type 1 diabetes research. We're actually doing a big run. If anybody wants to come on June 5th, just let me know. And then last year, exactly this time, we got another curveball, which is Matthew was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And it's rare for that to happen. I actually was the one to diagnose him, mother's intuition. But there is no family and extended family more qualified to get through this together. Matt is really doing great, and we are all doing great. We've got this. One final curveball that I wanted to talk about, which we all went through, is the pandemic and motherhood, which was definitely, the best of times and the worst of times. Apparently, I speak very loud when I'm on a business call. No one liked that. We lived in my house out east, which we dubbed the commune, and it was my sister, best friend, Carol, our 4 boys, basically the same age, a lot of dogs. Matt graduated from college in our living room. Jacob's college experience was dramatically changed, and I went through some health challenges during that time. But so much good came out of it. We adopted our adorable puppy, Charla. We ate dinner together every single night, mandated by the kids. We played lots of games and did puzzles. I got healthy, and we got through that together, and I'm so grateful. I'm going to end with my parenting tip. It's called The Magic Powers. This is true. When Matthew was 2 years old, we were taking a flight to Florida to see my parents, and I was worried I was going to be one of those parents where the kids were going to scream. And so I brought home a magic wand, and I did a spell on Matthew, like literally abracadabra, here's the spell. And the spell was giving him magic powers that when he got on the plane, if he went right to sleep, the plane would get there faster, and everyone would know it was his magic powers and would thank him. And I would tell everybody once he fell asleep, like, you better thank him. And so they did. He woke up, and they were like, oh, we heard, and he was so proud. And it worked, and then Jacob got old enough, and Matthew wanted to give Jacob the magic powers, and Jacob had the magic powers, and anyway, plane travel, their whole childhood, piece of cake. But to this day, my kids get on a plane, fall immediately asleep. They have never eaten a meal or seen a movie on a flight. So for those that have young children, I'm telling you, we have spread this word, and it really does work. My final thing I want to say is that motherhood has given me my own magic powers. The ability to function with no sleep, to find a solution to any problem, to never take no for an answer. My kids hate that. To love unconditionally, and to build a world filled with the most amazing friends, family, colleagues who magically appear whenever you need them. Thank you for this incredible honor.